welcome back everyone. We're going to talk about circles today in section 2.4. You might remember from geometry, a circle is just a set of points in the plane that are a fixed distance, we'll call it r, from a fixed point, which we'll call h comma k instead of using x comma y. The fixed distance r is the radius, so as you can see here is the radius. And the fixed point HK is called the center of the circle. So you can see that right in the center. One of the forms of an equation of a circle we're going to look at here, when your radius is r and the center is HK, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, which should look very familiar because it's the distance formula in disguise. So we're going to use that to graph and also write equations in standard form. So let's say we want to take a circle and we know it has a radius of 5 and the center is at negative 3, 6. What would that look like? So here's my x and my y axis, and I'm going to graph my center, which is negative 3, 6. So I'm going to go left 3 and up 6. And then it says the radius is 5. So in order to graph the radius, I'm just going to go up 5, down 5, left and right 5 from that purple dot. So I'll have a dot there, go back to the purple dot that I had originally, go left 5, go down 5, and then go up 5, except you'll run out of room, so just kind of estimate where it would go. And you figure it would be maybe right about there. So now what would that equation look like? Well, I need my r, which is right here. So I know my r is 5. And I need my h and my k, which come from the center. So I know my h is negative 3 and my k is 6. So now I'm just going to plug it into my formula. I have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So if I clean this up, 2 negatives make a positive, I get that. And that's my final answer. X plus 3 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 25 is the equation of that circle in standard form. Now there's another form we can write our equations in, which is called general form. And that's x squared plus y squared plus ax plus by plus c equals 0. So it looks slightly different. You can also see that the equation is different as well. So in order to graph that, I need to find the center and the radius. In order to do that, we're going to have to use a process called completing the square. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to group the x's together. So I'm going to have x squared plus 4x plus, and then I'm going to leave a space. And then I'm going to put the y's together. So I'll have plus y squared minus 6y plus, and then leave a space. And I'm going to take that 12 and move it to the other side by subtracting it from both sides. So I would get negative 12 on the other side, 0 minus 12. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the square. So to do that, I'm going to take half of the linear term, so half of my x to the first term. And then you're going to take that number, so half of 4 is 2, you're going to square it and put it right there. So 2 squared gives me 4. You just added 4 to one side of the equation, so you need to do it to the other to keep it balanced. I'm going to do the same thing with the negative 6. I'm going to take half of negative 6, so half of the linear term, which is negative 3, and then square that, and that number goes right there. Negative 3 squared is 9. You just added 9 to one side, so I need to add 9 to the other. Now, each of these pieces should be factorable, so I should be able to factor this now, and I should be able to factor that. So if you factor x squared plus 4x plus 4, remember you want two numbers that are going to multiply to give you 4 that add up to 4, which would be 2 and 2. And then the same thing for the y's. So my sign here in the middle is a negative, so I'm going to put a negative, and then a negative times a positive is a negative. And I know it's just going to be negative 3 times negative 3. So actually, this number here is the number that goes inside. And then negative 12 plus 4 plus 9 is 1. X plus 2 times x plus 2 I can just write as x plus 2 squared. And y minus 3 times y minus 3 I can write as y minus 3 squared equals 1. Now you can see that this looks like your standard form, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So I can pick out my center, which is h and k. So h here, since it's a negative, it means opposite. So I see a 2, so the opposite of that would be a negative 2. And then I need the opposite of a negative 3, which is a positive 3. Okay? And you can check it if you plug in negative 2 back into the formula for h and you plug in 3 for k, you would end up with that same equation that we have. And then my radius is, remember, you have r squared. So if r squared is 1, to find r, I'm just going to take the square root of it. So the square root of 1 is 1. So to graph this, I'm going to plot my center, which would be negative 2, 3. So here's the x-axis, here's the y-axis. I'm going to go left 2, and I'm going to go up 3. And then I'm going to go 1 up, down, right, and left. So put a dot, 1 up, down, right, left. And draw your circle. And I'm going to leave the last two for you all to do. The next one is on the graphing calculator. And then letter B is simply writing your equation. And try putting it in both standard and general form. Okay, that is it for lesson 2.4. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And please make sure you're working on your homework. If you have any questions, please reach out to me.